Oh, good. We're ready?
Yep.
All right. Welcome, everybody. This is a city council meeting for March 14th for the city of Bonnie Lake. First thing we do is always salute the flag. So everybody stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, I hope Councilmember Evans is right, but just in case he's not on a 4-minute meeting, I brought my gavel. I have to be at the school at 7 o'clock for a choir, for the spring choir, so we're going to very hard to make this an efficient meeting. All right, roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Mayor McCullough,
I'm here.
Deputy Mayor Carter,
Here.
Councilmember Baldwin, Councilmember Evans,
Here.
Councilmember Fullerton,
Here.
Councilmember McClymans,
Here.
Councilmember Swatman,
Present.
and Councilmember Watson.
Here.
All righty. Looks like we don't have any agenda modifications. We have no announcements, appointments, or presentations. So seeing as there, Deputy Mayor Carter.
Sorry, I'd like to make a motion to excuse Councilmember Baldwin.
Second it.
Oh, all right, everybody, all in favor of excusing Councilmember Baldwin, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Councilmember Baldwin is excused. Do we know why?
He's out of the state. No, but I'll
Okay.
find out.
All right.
Each in debate.
Oh, that's a good. Okay, so let's move on to citizen commentary. This would be your time to address the council on city business. The city will now enable the video and microphone for those attending virtually. You'll need to turn on your video and your microphones on your end if you are wanting to be seen or heard. We will start with those who are here in person and then move to the virtual comments afterwards. You have 5 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record. Yes, sir. Who are you?
Wandered in on the street. My name is Dave Morrell, Pierce County Council, District 1, live at 11421 164th Street on the other hill. So, I am here just to make you aware that the council is moving forward probably this month on a 0.1% affordable housing tax. And it will be on all sales tax that is currently out there. So you being obviously a city within Pierce County, the county does this, that 0.1% will be imposed upon your jurisdiction and any other city other than Tacoma. Tacoma already has their 0.1%. So at PCRC, I think Thursday, Heather Moss with Human Services will be making a presentation on the 0.1%. To be honest with you, it's probably a 50-50 chance that it's going to go forward. They're still negotiating going on, and I'm not bleeding too bad as of today, but anyway, so it will either happen this Tuesday, coming up the 21st, or it'll happen on the 28th. So just making you aware of that. And if you have any comments, make sure you send them to the Pierce County Council. So other than that, that's all I have to say.
Well, thank you for the notice, Councilmember Morrell. What time on Thursday? What time is that meeting? Is it in the afternoon?
The PCRC meeting is at 6 p.m. and it can be found online virtually.
That's wonderful.
Your Tuesday meeting is 3 p.m.?
What's that?
Your next Tuesday meeting is at 3 p.m.?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and that will be the first item up, will be ordinance 81S.
Okay.
So.
All right. Thank you. All right. Anybody else for the good of the order?
Good evening, Council. My name is Erin Muskie. I'm the senior librarian at the Bonnie Lake Library, and I live at 13309 80th Avenue Court East. Go up, it's a very long address. I wanted to share a couple of updates from across the parking lot. The first is that all Pierce County libraries, as of this week, are operating under extended hours. The hours vary by location to location, and they're meant to be responsive to the needs of the community. So, for example, in our community, we've noticed that Sunday afternoon hours for us have not been a very busy time. But when we close in the evenings, we have been closing at 5 or 6 p.m. We very often will see people coming in at 5 minutes to close, wanting to use a computer, wanting to get books for their family. So we recognized there was a need for later hours in the evening. So as of yesterday, actually, our new schedule is Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. So we have greatly expanded hours in the evening. Friday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And it's our hope that by having weekend hours, daytime hours on weekdays, and also evening hours on weekdays, we're best positioned to serve everyone here in Bonnie Lake. The other update I wanted to share with you is actually an invitation to come across the parking lot and take a look at the rotating community art display that we have up in our children's area. This is going to be a space for local students, local community members, and various community organizations to bring in artwork that they've created and just showcase local talent. And boy, we have got a lot of it here in Bonnie Lake. So our first display is up already. It is 10 pieces of art from students at Bonnie Lake High School. And all of these pieces were entered into the art show that the school held back on February 25th down at Sumner Middle School. And they all actually won awards. So as you can imagine, the level of talent is just phenomenal. I'd really invite you all to take a moment if you've got time to come across the street and to take a look at that first rotation. And then as we get more schools coming in, we have 2 different school districts represented. Elementary, middle, and high school students will be participating, and also the Prairie Ridge Community Coalition for year 1. And we're looking to expand our display in year 2 as well. So we're really excited about it, and I just wanted to extend that invitation to you all, and that is all I have tonight.
All right. Thank you very much, Aaron.
Mayor?
Oh, Councilmember Evans.
I just want to say I saw all the art that the STEAM Fair did down at this middle. That is amazing, from elementary all the way up through high school. It was incredible just to see the talent that this little area here has. And it's great that it's going to be on a rotating display over there, more so than just back at someone's house. So that's great that you guys are offering that. Thank you.
Oh, Councilmember Watson.
Hey, Mr. Mayor, I also want to comment. I have a sign business, and I have 4 high school students that work for me part-time that paint, and they're exceptional. And they do a great job. So I can see they're getting well-trained at the school, come in to help me in that way too. So I can see what you're talking about.
All I can say, it was very nice to see you two last week when I was gabbing. I hope I didn't bore you too much. I wish I'd met you formally then. But I will. I'll be over there to look. I appreciate it. Okay. Anybody else for the good of the order?
My name is Ranjit Bassi. I live at 18013 120th Street Court East, Washington 98391. I have been in here for a while. I think it's been a little bit over 2 years. I don't know the familiar faces, but there's a lot of new faces here. And I was one of the original retail marijuana licensee in Bonnie Lake, Washington, that I got a license back in 2014. But when I took over, actually got started in the process, there was a moratorium hold, and then in the process, there was a ban. And I'm here to see if you guys were willing to reconsider looking over, having a retail marijuana shop here in Bonnie Lake. I went through a lot of hoops and hurdles where I've set up shop and pretty much got licensed through the state, and then having the city and the police come in and shut me down and saying, if I do go forward, there's going to be consequences, right? So I went through the whole process with, coming to city council meetings, having, really good, for a long time debate, but had the chief of police, come talk, have the city of Bonnie Lake police department on my side, is, you guys are pulling over people using your own tax money to prosecute the people that are coming to Buckley and, Buckley, the 2 stores. the reason you guys haven't seen me lately is just because, I ended up in 2017, I sold all my house, 3 acres, all my toys, everything, to pretty much, because Bonnie Lake Store took over $500,000 to pay all that debt off to start off scratch. And then, luckily I got 2016, they added more stores when they closed the medical stores that were not paying taxes. So I hit Okanagan. So I started in 2017, July, opened that store. Then at the time I got accepted for one more. So I was in Carson, worked those, for 3 years, was living out there for 5 years, come home on the weekend, spend time with the family. I kind of, came back up, worked those stores. And then I have 2 new partners that are good friends of mine. They own Best Westerns in Tacoma and Comfort Inn. With the whole COVID, it took their business away. And they're like, hey, this upcoming business, can you teach us and everything? Because they didn't know nothing about the industry. We took distressed stores and, brought them profitable, bringing in tax, for the state and the city. Stores that were doing 8,000 net a day, we're doing like 200,000-300,000, net, then we have our expenses from there. But, we took it to the next level where pretty much we run everything by the rules, with all these break-ins that happen and robberies. Our Lacey store got hit 3 times, but we took precautions. We worked with the police department. We got money trackers in our registers. The person that our store caught was the one that shot the guy in Tacoma. And so when they robbed us, we took a lot of precautions. So I know, a lot of people think that it brings trouble in, but no, once you actually let the criminals know that, hey, this is no place as a regular business. You're going to, rob this, there's consequences. And we took those. And I'm just here to say, Bonnie Lake, there's stores, I don't know if you guys know the Green Door, they've been working for a long time. They built a new building, and they're right on the corner of Bonnie Lake. So, and you guys, I was wondering if you guys are willing to consider and bring this as a topic, see if this is, doable. I think it would be a good opportunity, my stores, they're all paying taxes, you guys could look me up, we have Olympia, Lacey, Seattle, Mount Vernon, Okanagan, Carson, and then working on a Tenasket location, just waiting for conditional use permits. So it's not like I'm a nobody coming in here. I've kind of made a foot in this industry, and I'm here to say, if you guys are willing to take this, consider it. I won't let you guys down. I'll do my best to work with the police department, with the city, make this right. But at the end of the day, it's going to happen, but why delay it, right? So, that's all I got to say. Just wanted to introduce myself to all the new faces.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate bringing it to our attention. Okay. Anybody else for the good of the order?
Mayor, Council, Dan Decker, past council member, live at 204 170th Street East, Bonnie Lake, Washington. First Amendment, rights are clashing the public meeting. The public has a special First Amendment right to speak at council meetings. Special First Amendment rights, the mayor and council have an interest in assuring that meetings are conducted in an orderly way and are not disrupted by threats, interruptions, or overlong comments. The mayor and council must avoid violating the rights of citizens who wish to comment during the public meeting or hearing. What authority does the council have to establish and carry out procedures that can prevent the interruption or delay of public meetings due to threats, interruptions, or overlong comments? The First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution protects free speech in public forum to a point. The mayor and council can limit public forum. The manner of speech is regulated through the adoption of rules and procedures controlling conduct of speakers. Yet, the blade of justice must be careful not to violate the protections the people have under the First Amendment. It may be unlawful for any person in the audience to include the mayor and council members at any council meeting to do any of the following intentionally. Intentionally is the operative. Engage in disorderly, disruptive, disturbing, delaying, or boisterous conduct such as making noise, use of profane language, or obscene gestures. Be careful, profane and gestures are protected speech. Yielding a similar demonstration or conduct that does substantially interrupt, delay, or disrupt the speech and good order of the meeting. The mayor and the council have responsibility to protect the orderly function and intent of workshops and council meetings. I'm not going to read this part. This says that the mayor and the council, I believe, do a great job at the council meetings and conduct the meetings very properly. And I want to thank you for that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Decker. Not that I wasn't paying attention, but I just noticed our clock is actually working. What act did we get through to finally get that done?
It was daylight savings.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. McEwen. All right. Anybody else for the good of the order before we move on? Okay. Now we will start those commentaries that are virtual. Anybody who is virtually appearing tonight, you have 5 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record, please. Okay, I am seeing no virtual activity, so we will move on. I'm sorry.
Could the administrator see if there's any hands up in blue jeans? Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Well, the city will now disable all video and microphone for those attending virtually, and we have no correspondence. So next would be committee reports. Finance Committee, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Finance Committee met today at 5 o'clock upstairs. We had a personnel update, and there's a lot going on. I think there's at least 10 or 11 hires this month. And there was a letter sent out to everybody in their email earlier today with all those hirings and conditional letters, receipt of applications, and vacancies. And then I will get back here, my page back. The deal here. Okay. We had our business and action items, AB 2346. It's a drug fund purchase that would test drugs through packaging. So it would leave our officers much safer in order to actually test drugs and what they are. That would come out of the drug fund. So we talked about that. That is on tonight's consent agenda. And then we had AB 2344. The opioid settlement allocation agreement. This is the second settlement with drug companies. We're basically allowing ourselves to be involved with, and it would be $250,000 over 15 years from some of these drug companies. That's on March 28th, the consent agenda. We had a memorandum in regards to the job titles and descriptions for the court administrator and probation officer through the court. That was just a memorandum and some changes in those names. AB 2345, which was donations and pre-authorizing city staff to obtain monetary donations through an event sponsorship program. That we talked about would be potentially anything under, say, $10,000. And it's an earmark that would be in the general fund to be used for those events and whatnot. So that will come forward in March 28th. And then AB 2314, which is revisions to the City of Bonnie Lake business license requirements. and that was for businesses, like home businesses, for a no-fee business license for any business that's making under $10,000. They could get a no-fee business license to operate in the city. So that would be on the consent for April 28th.
Okay.
We approved our minutes. We had an open discussion about El New York Park, pay-to-park kiosks, and we had a short open discussion about increased attorney costs for this year. And that concluded our meeting.
All right. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Carter. Can we hear from the Community Development Committee, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Community Development Committee met on March 7th. The several items of business included the resolution that's on for tonight, Resolution 3135, a WSU wetland mitigation site. It was over at the WSU piece. There's a little piece of wetland in there long time ago. They reallocated that to a different area and have to sign off that it's good and it's all done. So that's just a procedural thing there recommended for passage tonight. Also award a professional services agreement to Parametrics that we're still working with on committee because we're trying to get all the budgeting stuff so that it's pretty straightforward on that because they had monies and stuff in the last year and then didn't get it into this year. So we wanted to make sure that it read really well and was pretty straightforward because that'll require a budget amendment if we move that one forward. So we're still working with that one. Also an ordinance that's updating the water leak policy. As you know, we had a customer that had an issue. We always have to work with us specifically. We recommended that for the full council, recommended approval on this evening's agenda. We can talk about that more when we get down there. New water right update. We're still working to pressure the administration and everything to get more work done on that water right that we could achieve through Cascade that's out there. That's a time-limited water right we need to get some stuff done with. East Town Sewer Lift Station hookup. That's through the I had that one. There's a development out there that has a really long sewer line that we're going to work on rerouting through the new lift station that's in the East Town. And also Sumner interlocal agreement and some questions about, why our sewer charge is so significantly different than Sumner's. So the mayor was unavailable at the last meeting. We could have had a longer conversation about that. But those were items this evening.
Well, I did hear we had a very robust conversation last week.
We missed
Sorry,
you.
I missed it. I wouldn't have been able to contribute. I couldn't speak at all.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yep. Life happens.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Swatman. Public Safety Committee, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Public Safety met tonight. We had a report from Chief Mack from East Pierce Fire and Rescue. They went over all of their February reports and calls. And next week, Pulse Point, which is a app, is starting a verified responder program with East Pierce, which will allow actual first responders, not citizens, but other law enforcement and firefighters that live in the area to be a verified responder. And with that, they'll be able to get a AED from East Pierce Fire and Rescue so that even though they may be a Kent firefighter or a Kent police officer, if they live in the neighborhood, they could get or live in the community, they could possibly get a AED. So when the pulse point goes off, they can, if they're within a mile, they could act as a responding agency until East Pierce Fire and Rescue gets there. So that'll help out quite a bit.
Absolutely.
We had a police report from Chief Jeter. We have a new CSO starting on 4/16, and we have 2 new officers starting on April 1st. With all the good news of new officers coming on board, we do have a retirement of one of our most beloved sergeants, and that's Sergeant Ron Sasaki, who will be retiring on April 1st. March 30th will be his going away party. I believe Chief sent out the memo on that. 3 to 4 p.m. at the police station. In Sergeant Sasaki's retirement, Detective Brian Brierly has been promoted to sergeant. He'll be starting on swing shift sergeant shortly. We had a report. The Citizens Academy started last night, which was a great turnout. First time in 3 years since that's been going. It's Mondays and Wednesdays, 6 to 8, and some various Saturdays. But the class is already full and has been from all the signups. But it's a great opportunity for the community to see what our police do and engage with them and see what they go through on a daily basis. We will have a swearing in for the new officers. That will be on the 5th of April from 3 to 4 p.m. We also had a report from the prosecutor's office, and there's been 66 arraignments last month and 489 total hearings. We had business and action items AB 2337 for out-of-state travel for hostage negotiations, which I believe is on, that's not on tonight's. Oh, yeah, that's on tonight's. That's item D on the consent agenda. We also had AB 2347, which was a hold harmless agreement with the Swiss Park for our police officers to use that as a training ground for their shooting. We approved our minutes for February, and that was it.
All right, thank you,
Oh, I
Councilmember
do like to
Evans.
thank Councilmember Watson for sitting in for Councilmember Baldwin today.
Oh, very good. Thank you, Councilmember Watson. Chief, you going to invite me to the swearing in?
I just did.
Oh,
Yes, the official invite will be coming out probably tomorrow. My administrative assistant was working on the graphics when I left to attend the public safety meeting today, but there will be official welcome and invitation coming out probably tomorrow.
all right. Thank you, Chief. Appreciate that. All right, let's move on. We now have the consent agenda. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, let the record reflect that the consent agenda, for March 14th, 2023 has been adopted. We do have a full council issue. Item A, Madam Clerk, would you read that, please?
This is AB 2338, Ordinance D 2338. The council motion would be to amend Chapter 13.04.100, Section G of the Bonnie Lake Municipal Code and the corresponding portions of ordinance numbers 1151, 1429, 1430, 1440, 1465, and 1541 relating to the water utility charges and adjustments.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Swam.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, we did examine this in committee, so no changes were recommended in the committee. This is, of course, addressing an issue that they always are very specific for specific situations. You'll probably see this a couple of times during your elected official career at some point in time. But this is, generated by staff. Big staff. Thank you to the mayor and the staff for coming up with the language that would allow them to kind of give a little reprieve to somebody that was in an very odd situation. So really appreciate that.
Oh, yes, I think we all read that. I appreciate that, Councilmember Swam. Any further discussion before we go on? Okay, let's move on. All in favor of ordinance D 2338, say aye.
Aye.
I got Councilmember Fullerton. Thank you very much. All opposed? Okay, no opposed. So AB 2338 has been adopted. There is no executive or closed session. Wow, seeing no more business. I guess my gavel threat worked. We are adjourned.
Nice.